Hey violins, this is a quick how-to video for the 2-octave C major scale. This is in Essential Elements Book 3. Please make sure you put the PDF in your PS score. It's on page 18 and it's song number 106. So we already know how to do a 1-octave C major scale starting 3 fingers on the G string, and hopefully you guys remember that this is all natural. So we need to make sure we're using F naturals and C naturals. That's low 2 on the D string and low 2 on the A string. So when you first practice this, please make sure your first octave sounds good and we can really get a good F natural. Low 2, low 2. Okay, that should be the easy part. Then we have some shifting to do because we can't reach all of the notes in the top octave without third position. So if you look at number 106, right here, after we've played low 2 on the A string, we're going to shift to third position. That's putting your first finger where third finger would normally go. You can tell it's third position because it has the Roman numeral 3 underneath. It has a minus sign, which means to move your hand. And then it has a first finger on a note that would normally be third finger. After you've practiced your first octave, the next thing I would practice is just getting from this C to that D. We're going from our second finger and shifting up to first finger. As we shift, we have to get the second finger out of the way, so we play 2 and then 1. It's totally normal to go back and forth and just practice these notes over and over and over again to make sure you can get it really, really in tune. It might help if you look at your fingers. If you still have a third finger tape, you can see that first finger land on the tape. Practice it forward, and then also practice it backwards because we're going to need the same shift in reverse when we go down the scale. So I'm going from 2 to 1. If you don't practice that shift and you just dive bomb for it, it's not going to sound very good in your recording. So make sure you practice it before you do the whole thing. If you can get that shift, then we have to figure out the rest of the fingerings. You might want to write them in your music if you get a little confused about this kind of stuff. So you can use your pen tool and PS score to write them in. If we're on first finger right here, this note's on the A string, we're just going to go up our fingers in order. So the E is going to be second finger, F will be 3, and then G will be 4. All 4 of these notes on the A string. They're going to look like this finger pattern with D here, E is a whole step, F natural is a half step, and then G is a whole step. Those notes on the A string should sound like this. Okay, so I'm in third position on the A string, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then when we need to get over here for A, don't shift down, don't leave this position, just cross your first finger over. We're still in third position on the E string. So after I play my 4, I'm going to scooch my first finger over to the E string to play A. Okay, and then the next notes, this is 1, then B is 2, and C is 3. This scale ends on a third finger before we come back down, so you don't need your pinky. Finger pattern's the same. We have A, whole step to B, half step to C. So our last 3 notes should sound like. Okay, then I'm going to play all the notes on the A string up to there. It sounds like crossover. So make sure you really practice to make sure that crossover sounds good and you have your half step between your 2 and 3 really in tune. Coming back down, it's just the same thing in reverse. So we start on third finger right here where we left off, and then 2 and 1. When we cross back over to the A string, it's a little tricky to find your fourth finger. So you might want to practice that. Make sure we're getting a little bit of an elbow swing in here because if we just plop down our fourth finger really flat, it's going to sound out of tune. And then we come back down the fingers. The G is 4, 3, 2, 1. So from the top, cross over. And then when we shift back, remember I told you to practice that shift up and down because we have to do it in reverse now. So we're on first finger for D, and then we just go down to low 2 for C natural. Please don't go to a high 2, otherwise it's going to be C sharp. And then we just go down to the end of the scale. All right, I'm going to play the whole thing for you. Watch out for your rhythm. We have quarter notes here and here. Then we have half notes. These are going to feel very long. And then same thing on the way down. Okay, here's the whole scale. Ready, set, go. All right, good luck practicing. Make sure you practice that shift a bunch of times. Check to make sure you're playing low twos, and I'll see you in your recording.